this 11th anniversary of the 9/11 tragedies, we remember not only the tragic events, but also the heroism. And so it is that the Mets once again honor the heroes, both fallen and living, and remember the victims as well, in an effort to never forget the tragedy of 11 years ago. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Washington Nationals. Tuesday Night Baseball on SNY is presented by Citi. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets play the middle game of their three-game series against the Washington Nationals on the day we commemorate 9/11. The Mets don't have a whole lot to play for the rest of the season over the last 21 games, but they do have a very significant individual honor in the offing, and that is the Cy Young candidacy of R.A. Dickey, who pitches tonight. So if you're one of the other Mets with a chance to get an honor for a teammate, how do you approach this game differently from others?
Well, this is a very tight-knit ball club, this Met ball club, and they're going to be putting on extra effort into R.A. to get him his 19th win tonight and hopefully his 20th. I have memories back in 1977 with the Cardinals. Bob Force, we were playing out distant third place. September games were meaningless, much like this. Bob won his 20th game, and the only time he won 20 ball games, and we went out every fifth day for him and really tried to get it for him. And this is what's going to happen here in the remaining starts for R.A.
R.A. comes into the night, one win behind Gio Gonzalez for the league lead, leading the league in ERA, third in strikeouts. He's got the credentials.
Well, he definitely has credentials, and I think he's the leading candidate right now. Despite Gio pitching last night and getting his 19th win, I also think he's the greatest story in baseball this season. A 37-year-old right-hander with a knuckleball has done more than any knuckleballer, in my estimation, has ever done as a pitcher. He's going to pass 200 innings probably tonight, probably pass 200 strikeouts. He's been the Mets' best pitcher. He's been their best story. He's had two back-to-back one-hitters. He's done everything that you could ever see in a year, and he's been inspirational in so many ways, not only in baseball, but also off the field.
Well, it's an inspiring night all the way around as Dickey takes center stage. The Mets and Nationals, all the action coming your way tonight on SNY. including a color guard honoring 8 different city and state agencies that were among the first responders 11 years ago on 9/11. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Citi, proud sponsor of the New York Mets. By Geico. By Audi, Truth in Engineering. By Buffalo Wild Wings. Tune into Beer Money on SNY, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, your home for wings, beer, sports. And by AT NYN, rethink possible. Mets and Nationals getting set here at Citi Field. Let's go down to the field to Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
Well, Gary, as you saw all the nice pictures here to start the broadcast, batting practice today, of course, the Mets wearing all the caps of the first responders to 9/11. And batting practice is one of those things that when you come to the park, if you're lucky enough to catch it, it kind of looks like controlled chaos. But essentially, there are a lot of really neat things going on with a purpose. And last homestand, we decided to film batting practice just to give you an idea of some of the things that happen during that and what the individual players are trying to accomplish, and give you a little idea. And there's a couple different ways to do infield. Lately, the Mets have been taking infield before batting practice. They'll go through a round like this where they're practicing everything from bunt plays, Tim Tuffle hitting fungos, trying double plays, and they'll go around the infield. Everyone will have the chance to turn it. Sometimes, though, they'll also do that during the actual BP. While guys are hitting, it's kind of orchestrated. As soon as the guy swings the bat to hit, they'll hit the fungo for the infield practice. Then the first group will get in, and the first group is Ike Davis, David Wright, and the starting catcher for the day with Dave Raccanello pitching to them. Terry Collins always bouncing around. He's talking to guys about strategy for the day, making them laugh a little bit, seeing how the health is, things like that. Here's an idea, 4 different shots around the field of what's going on. Now, when looking at the guys getting into the cage, there is a method to the madness here. There are 3 or 4 groups of 3 or 4 each. And in those groups, the guys will get 4 different rounds to hit of about 8 to 10 pitches each time. And there's different goals that they're trying to do. Sometimes they want to go the other way. Sometimes they want to pull. Sometimes they want to go for power and just try and hit a home run. And sometimes it's a little bunt practice as well. Well, while that's going on, Terry's talking to the pitchers. Well, yeah, the pitchers have a little fun shagging flies, but it's also the outfielders shagging flies as well. It doesn't really look like the pitcher's doing much there. But the outfielders use it as a good gauge to kind of see what the conditions are like, test it out, move around, get loose, and get ready and that type of thing. It's also kind of fun for the fans. You get to watch some of the guys come back and hit some of those bombs on the upper deck like Pujols did a couple years ago when he's hitting balls in 3 decks deep here at Citi Field. So it's really a very controlled chaos as you watch everybody go through it. And I talked to Mike Baxter, talked to a bunch of the guys, but I wanted to use Mike Baxter as an example to give you an idea how everybody has kind of their purpose, what they want to do. I said there's 4 rounds in the batting practice. So Mike, what he tries to do as a left-hand hitter, he tries to start out seeing the ball as deep as he can. He wants to go the other way, and he wants to hit it low the other way. He said, for me, I'm not a power hitter, so if I lift it up in the air, it's going to be an out. So I want to hit line drives and ground balls the other way. Then as we go to rounds 2 and 3, I want to go right up the middle. I want to get my stroke. I want to hit it right back up the box, go up the middle. Then the final round, I'm looking to pull there, get around on fastballs, and I'll even try to hit a couple home runs just to kind of show that lift. And if I get a pitch to hit out, I can hit it out just to kind of know the sensation. But that's the only round, that pull round, where I really try to hit it out. As far as the conditions go, said it's important to go out and shag fly balls because it's live BP. So guys are hitting fly balls. He said, good example is last night. It was windy in the park last night, and you can't simulate that. So I was out there seeing the wind, seeing how the ball reacted. It was big for me to get ready for the game. So that's an idea how batting practice works. Of course, a special night here in New York as we remember 9/11. And we've got the Mets and the Nationals with the first pitch from Citi Field coming up in just a moment.
Nationals, same lineup they put out there last night when they hit 3 home runs and beat the Mets 5-1 for their 87th victory of the season, more than any team in Major League Baseball. And R.A. Dickey will try and cool them down tonight. His first pitch of the night to Jason Worth is a knuckleball in for a strike, and we're underway.
R.A. Dickey's incredible numbers this year. 5 shutouts in his career, 4 with the Mets, 3 this season. It's the Caesars numbers for you. Caesars Atlantic City.
Worth has some of the best numbers against Dickey of anybody in baseball. He's hitting .440 against him in 25 at-bats, including a couple of home runs. But Dickey has been at his overwhelming best in the first innings of games. And he misses high to Worth. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It stands to reason the first time through the order for Dickey, it's a knuckleball. The players are trying to get a barometer on him, a little gauge.
And a base hit for Worth. And again, Worth is successful against Dickey. He's now 12 for 26 against him.
Well, conversely, though, Keith, I've always thought that a knuckleballer in the first inning is trying to gauge how much the knuckleball is breaking.
Well, as a hitter, you're going, oh, that one didn't break right there, so that was a tumbler. As a hitter, Ronnie, and I faced Necro, both Necros, you go up there and you hope you see a couple knuckleballs. That's what you're going to get from Phil and R.A. And hopefully he'll miss and you're 2-0 and you've seen 2 knuckleballs. You get an idea. But it's really hard to gauge because they can throw you 3 bad ones and then throw you a terrific one.
Well, from his appearance at the plate, it's obvious that Bryce Harper did not write the lineup for the Nationals tonight. Davey Johnson did, because Harper predicted after the game last night that he would not be in the lineup today because he does not have a hit against Dickey. He's 0 for 10. And knowing Davey the way I do, I have a feeling that Harper may only be in the lineup because he said that. He bunts one. It's a foul ball.
That ball's off his hand.
Well,
there's not a lot put into it, not a high leg kick. See, he lands on his toe and doesn't really get on his heel till just the very end of letting that ball go. Oh, bunted against his knee.
So it's a 2-strike count to Harper with Worth at first and nobody out. And Harper bounces one foul. We're talking about Dickey's first inning prowess. This is his 29th start of the year. In the previous 28, he's given up a total of 3 first inning runs. 3. And he won't do it today. But he's retired the side in order in the first inning 19 of his prior 28 starts. That's just phenomenal.
Well, Harper is up there just taking a kind of a feel swing. And I'm sure, Davey, a little lesson learned, young man. You don't make the lineup card.
Not at age 19, anyway.
If you focus on your 4 at-bats tonight.
You're not old enough to drink. You're not old enough to write the lineup.
That's a clown decision, Davey.
There you go. And he bounces one over the bag. It's a fair ball down the line. Going to the corner to field it is Bay. Worth will go to third. Bryce Harper with a lucky hit. Just a late swing and bounced it over the bag. His first ever hit against Dickey, and the Nationals have it set up.
Now, I just want to, it's a very defensive swing. It was a pitch up and away, and what happens? He gets it right down the line. This, to me, it's just Davey. How many times does this happen? You know, Davey puts him in the lineup, and you're going to play no matter what, and it might be a big day for him. Who knows?
I just find it very interesting that you can play defensive positioning against a ball that the pitcher barely knows where it's going.
So, a big problem for Dickey in the first inning, and that one breaks off Toley's mitt, but not far enough away for Worth to make a break, as Ryan Zimmerman took strike 1.
Well, there it is, and it's over the bag anyway. It's a ground ball, and that is a fair ball all the way.
The Coors Light freeze cam as Sam Holbrook, the third base umpire, made the call. Infield back, they'll concede a run on a ground ball with Zimmerman at the plate. And Zimmerman swings at the hard knuckleball, and again Dickey gets ahead 0-2. Zimmerman has driven in a run in 7 straight games, which matches the longest streak for any player since the Nationals became the Nationals in 2005. And a prime RBI chance here. And he drives one out to right field, chasing Baxter back. Baxter gets back to make the grab, but tagging and scoring easily is Worth. Harper racing for third. He'll stop there. Sacrifice fly for Ryan Zimmerman for the first out of the game, and the Nationals take a 1-0 lead.
Well, 0-2 count. You got to cover the plate. And this one didn't do much either. Just sat there right down the middle. So RA right now is having a hard time getting that thing working.
Well, he felt as though he didn't have his best knuckleball in his last start in St. Louis, and certainly he does not have his best early in this game. Mets already down 1-0. They'll bring the infield in here with Adam LaRoche at the plate. Harper at third and 1 out. LaRoche 1 for 4 last night, and he bloops one behind Murphy, but Dan will go back to get it. Harper tagging and drawing the throw, and then he goes back to the bag at third. So that's a big second out for Dickey.
Well, there's one thing that RA does well. When he's in trouble, he'll throw that hard, he likes to go to that hard knuckleball and jam people. And I think that's what you're going to see next time up against Harper. With those defensive swings, he's going to just pound that hard one on his hands.
One thing you're going to have to watch here with Harper, he might try to beat R.A. Dickey to the plate if this ball gets away from Tolley at all.
Here's Michael Morris, and he takes the high knuckleball for ball 1.
And we'll go quickly here on the Lexus Mets defense. Right at third. Okay, he's played a great third base. We talked about that. Tejada in the lineup at short. Bays out there. Good defensive outfield today.
And that's what Terry Collins said before the game. In choosing his outfield, sitting Duda against a right-hand pitcher, he said, with Dickey trying for a Cy Young, I want my best possible defensive outfield. And that's why Babe, Torres, and Baxter are out there. 1-1 to Morris, who's got a 7-game hitting streak going. He watches that one sail away, 2-1, and Dickey's been up with the knuckleball consistently in this first inning.
That was a nice catch by Josh, though.
Ooh, he threw that one. That was not 80 miles an hour. He threw that. He put a little mustard on that one.
Ian Desmond waits on deck. And that one moved. 2-2.
What's interesting is Morris was neutralized last night with fastballs hard inside. This knuckleball, even though it's dancing, a little better swing as far as timing wise for Morris.
Dickey had the sharp left turn going on that last one. Bryce Harper at third. The 2-2 to Morris sits high and a full count. And it is sailing on him early.
I've never seen him throw it so hard. He's really, I think he wants us to get out of here with 1 run. He's that close to the prize.
And he gets Morris to end the inning. Strikes him out with the 3-2 knuckleball, so Dickey limits the damage to 1 run, just the 4th first inning run he's allowed this year. Geico Mets starting lineup tonight. Daniel Murphy out of the lineup last night, back in there tonight. Mike Baxter moves into the 5-hole as the Mets try and find a winning combination, having gone 11 straight home games now, scoring 3 runs or fewer.
Well, Zimmerman's been pretty consistent all season long as you look at the Toyota numbers, stats for Jordan Zimmerman, but 2 starts ago gave up 8 runs in 3 2/3 innings. Really one of the only blemishes on a fantastic year so far.
Yeah, he had a pretty rough patch for 3 or 4 starts there until his last start when he had a great game against the Cubs. Throws the first pitch strike to Ruben Tejada, who was on base 3 times last night with a single and 2 walks.
He's had 3 starts, 4 start against the Mets this season. 1-0 with a 1.50 Ernie.
And he's pitched well in all 3 of those games. Pitched 6 innings in all 3. Gave up 2, 0, and 1 run in the 3 starts against the Mets. So Zimmerman's been very tough against New York. In fact, you know, we've talked a lot about Dickey and his Cy Young possibilities. There was a time there until about a month ago when Zimmerman was in that conversation. Tejada late swing foul on the fastball. Those are his starts against the Mets this year. And 6 innings is about his norm. He hasn't thrown a pitch in the 8th inning all season. But his first full year back from Tommy John surgery was last year. They limited his innings. This year he's up to 171.
He'll come after you with that cheddar.
Well, that's going to be the key, isn't it? The Mets, who like to be patient. This is a guy who doesn't walk anyone, especially New York Met hitters.
Hasn't walked a Met this year.
34 walks, 2 intentional, over 171 in 2/3.
Just off the plate to Tejada. Zimmerman averaging 1.8 walks per 9 innings this year. That's 6th best in the league.
Interesting, the catcher Suzuki has painted his nails white to make it a little easier for Zimmerman to see the signs.
Up the middle, and Tejada's got a leadoff hit. So just as Worth began against Dickey, Tejada takes one right back up the middle against Zimmerman.
And the Coors Light National defense. Well, LaRoche is really underrated as a first baseman. Worth can really pick it out there in right field. Harper can go get him in center. Pretty good combination up the middle in Desmond and Espinoza, and of course Zimmerman's Gold Glove winner over there at third. It's a good defensive ball club.
Daniel Murphy's really the only hot hitter in the Mets lineup right now. He had a pinch hit single in the game last night. Last 11 games, Murph's hitting .340, has his average back up to .292. So on a team that is run starved right now, the Mets need for Murphy to stay hot and some other people to find a big hit, which has been sorely lacking. And Zimmerman misses away 2-0. Murphy 6 for 19 against Zimmerman, including a home run.
Well, there's nothing. Murph's got a good compact stroke, line drive hitter. He's going to like those guys that come after you with the fastball. Nice hole between first and second. As you can see, they got to hold the runner on. When you're a situational hitter, and a 2-place hitter has got to be a situational hitter as well as your 3rd-place hitter. That's a nice hole to try to poke through. Sets up a 1st and 3rd for your big hitters behind you.
2-1, good hit and run count if you want to go that way, but Tejada not running and Murphy trying to lay off the breaking ball. He went around. Sam Holbrook with the call, and it's 2-2.
You know, that was the one thing, Ron Guerra, that when I hit third for the Mets in the 80s, the 2 hitters in front of me, Wally couldn't pull the ball, left-hand hitter, and Tuff was a pull hitter.
Murphy trying to poke one the other way and fouls it off. Well, the home numbers have just been phenomenally bad since the All-Star break, and they lost the last game before the break, so they've lost 20 of their last 24 at home, and they just have not been able to score in this ballpark.
Well, 2.3 runs per game. And
it's gotten worse because in the last 11 games at home, the Mets have scored a total of 17 runs. 17 runs in 11 games.
Well, their runners in scoring position, hitting with runners in scoring position, has dropped off a cliff, too, in the second half.
3-2 with nobody out. Tejada at first. Zimmerman not a huge strikeout pitcher. So Tejada runs and Murphy makes contact, flies it out to left. Morris over near the sidewall, reaches but can't make the play, and it's a foul ball. Got close to it but couldn't reel it in.
He really misplayed this. He just did not look like, oh, he should have got to make that play.
That's got to be tough though with the sidewall coming up.
Yeah, but the ball was behind him. He didn't play this well.
Just inside the stands.
He didn't play it well at all. He's not known for his glove out there. I mean, they made a defensive change last night with him, did they not?
And they generally will take him out for defense late or move him around.
So if you're Murph, you go, thank you.
Tejada was running on the last one. He runs again, and Murph takes ball 4, and the Mets have the first 2 men on. So a rare walk from Jordan Zimmerman, and the Mets have 2 aboard for David Wright.
Just missed outside corner, knee high, and it missed. Look at Murph. Murph was not in a position to hit that.
So now it's David Wright, still 5th in the National League in batting at .313, but the power has fallen off considerably. 80 runs batted in for the year. 2 runners aboard for him here with nobody out in the first, and the Mets down 1-0. And Zimmerman's first pitch is up and in for ball 1. You see the numbers on David, and the slugging percentage stands out. He's dropped over 160 points from the first half to the second half. And the number at the bottom was huge too. As he has fallen off, so has the team.
Defense is just pretty straight up on David, but you can see Espinosa at second base paying, I think, a little bit too much attention to Tejada. He's not going anywhere. You got to cover ground back here. David likes to go the other way. You need a double play, the ball on the ground.
Zimmerman having an unusual problem throwing strikes early on, and he falls behind on right 3-0. Ike Davis looming on deck. So Zimmerman, who generally doesn't walk anybody, has already walked Murphy, and now he's behind 3-0 on right. Don't often see David swinging 3-0. And he takes a strike. Davey Johnson's team is poised with the best record in baseball right now. They've had the best pitching in the league all year. And as their offense is tuned up, the Nats have gotten better and better. And Wright takes a strike. A 3-1 slider from Zimmerman.
Late call by umpire Rob Drake. Good pitch, though.
It's kind of a flat get me over slider, but put it on the corner.
So it's 3-2. Tejada at second, Murphy at first with nobody out.
Fastball in, Keith?
I would think that's what I would want to be thrown.
And the curveball in for a call, strike 3. Now Zimmerman fell behind 3-0 through fastball, slider, and then curveball, and he gets right looking for the first out.
Watch David's shoulder, front shoulder. Oh, but he kept it in. He was just completely buckled. That is buckled my world on a pretty nasty breaking ball.
So one away, and now Ike Davis, and so it has gone for the Mets offense. You know, you go back to July the 22nd. The Mets had a .268 team batting average with runners in scoring position through their first 95 games. That ranked them second in the National League at the time through 95 games. Since then, it has been an entirely different story. As Davis takes a curveball for a strike, the last 46 games starting on July 23rd, the Mets are hitting .186 with runners in scoring position, the lowest in the major leagues. So they've gone from just about the top to all the way at the bottom. It's almost like somebody flipped a switch. This team that thrived off the big hit the first half of the year. 1-1 now to Davis. Ike with 26 homers, 78 runs driven in. Just 2 RBIs behind Wright for the club lead.
Oh, look at the Phillies.
Phillies just 5 out of the wild card race now after winning last night and off to a fast start tonight.
Oh,
you don't usually get that pitch. That's the catcher sitting inside, pitcher missing away, and home plate umpire gave it to him.
Rob Drake calling the balls and strikes tonight.
Oh, that hit the corner.
It was a strike.
It definitely is. You just don't always get that pitch.
So Ike was moaning and groaning about that a little bit, and that's a strike.
Suzuki out for a conversation with Zimmerman, who's had his ups and downs lately. We mentioned he pitched a good game against the Cubs his last time out. As you look at the umpiring crew, Joe West, the crew chief,
Jeez,
Mike
Joe
McClinsky, and Sam Holbrook rounding out the crew.
Joe's old as dirt out there. Jeez.
It's pretty interesting that Zimmerman has struggled since really the acquisition of Suzuki, and you saw the frustration of him throwing the ball in his glove, Suzuki going out there straight away. Sometimes a catcher comes in, even a veteran catcher, and sometimes you just can't get it together.
Before that last start against the Cubs, his ERA in the previous 4 starts was 7.91. So this has not been his best piece of the year. And that curveball misses to Davis, 2-2.
It's the pitcher realizing that he doesn't have his good fastball, he doesn't have the good command of his fastball, and he's gone to plan B.
Already thrown 24 pitches with 1 out in the first inning. Let's try to cash in. 2-2 to Davis, and that's just off the plate, the full count.
Oh, Jordan wanted that one.
That's 3 straight full counts from Zimmerman.
The same pitch that he threw to Murphy. It's away.
Yep. He's going to throw a hook here.
Well, he threw a 3-2 curveball to get right looking. Now it's 3-2 to Davis. And the curveball is high, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Zimmerman, who averages less than 2 walks per 9 innings, has walked 2 in the first inning.
He's just a little bit off right now. He's trying to fine tune it. I just like the way he battles when he got in trouble, Ronnie, because the first couple batters on the base hit and the walk, he was all over the place.
You know, the problem is obviously he's frustrated with his catcher a little bit. He's frustrated with himself, and he's frustrated with the umpire's call.
So for a Mets team that has not had a multiple run inning in 106 innings, they've got a chance here with the bases loaded and 1 out. And it's taken for a strike by Mike Baxter. Should say the last 106 innings at home. That's the qualifier. It's the second longest streak in Major League history. Tejada, Murphy, and Davis are aboard with 1 out. And Baxter fouls it off his thumbs, and it's 0-2. Unusual position for Mike Baxter to be hitting 5th in the batting order. Jason Bay in the lineup because of his defensive prowess is on deck.
This guy's a bulldog out here, I'll tell you that. Zimmerman.
And Baxter foul tips it, and that's strike 3, and that's the second out of the inning. So Zimmerman bounces back to get Baxter on 3 pitches.
Again, back to the curveball. We've seen starts from Zimmerman where he hasn't thrown a half-dozen curveballs in the 4th inning.
So it's left to Jason Bay. A single and 2 walks filling the bases. Zimmerman about to throw his 30th pitch of the inning, but a chance to get out of it. Jason hitting 114 with runners in scoring position this year, and he chases a slider for strike 1.
Well, he chased a bad one here.
I think this is one where he was just sitting on fastball. He's going to fire it wherever it was.
So Zimmerman throws it in the same spot, misses, 1-1. Well, Zimmerman's been the best in baseball this year, holding hitters with runners in scoring position. Dickey 3rd on the list. And now he's 1 strike away from getting out of the jam.
This is good up. He wants it away, but he misses up and in. Beats Jason.
Bay, who had a grand slam in Miami on the last road trip, batting with the bases loaded, 2 down. And he goes down swinging, and Zimmerman gets out of it. The Mets, who have been wasting opportunities seemingly for months, waste another in the first inning. 1-0 Washington. 10 DVD celebration of Mets history, World Series films, season highlights, and celebrated games. Order your 10 DVD anniversary gift set at Mets.com. Jordan Zimmerman got out of a jam, and R.A. Dickey's right back in one as Ian Desmond shoots the gap in right center field, and Desmond cruises into second with a leadoff double. So Dickey, who did well to allow just one run on the top of the first, throws one pitch, and he's right back in trouble.
Didn't knuckle. He's trying to find it, and they're getting on him early.
Do you think maybe, and listen, Dan Worthen very rarely comes out to speak to R.A. Dickey. Do you think maybe R.A. thinks about taking a little off it? I mean, he's throwing it real hard right now, 79 to 80. It's doing nothing. Maybe take a couple miles an hour off.
It's like he's got his blood up,
Yeah.
And Danny Espinosa, a switch hitter who chooses to bat right-handed against Dickey.
I would want him to hit left-handed right now and so he more chance to pull the ball and advance the runner.
Smart.
Higher average hitter as a right-hand batter. And quickly in an 0-2 hole. Espinosa just 3 for 20 against Dickey, but those hits, if memory serves, came recently. Dickey's had 2 starts against the Nats this year where they've roughed him up a little bit. Gave up 4 runs and 10 hits in one, 5 runs and 8 hits in another. Espinosa pops one up, shallow left for Bay, and Jason squeezes it for the first out. So Espinosa retired, 1 away, and Kurt Suzuki will come up. Suzuki, one of the 3 Nats who homered last night. In fact, he got the Washington Nationals on the board first with a home run. And Suzuki, who had not been hitting for much power, now has 4 home runs in his last 11 games, 5 for the year.
Bob Waterman for Elias called it what, the second chance home run? I thought that was a great way to put it.
And in fact, Elias did the research and found that Suzuki was the 5th major leaguer this year to hit a home run after having his at bat prolonged by an error. Shelley Duncan, Ryan Braun, Tyler Colvin, Carl Crawford, and then Suzuki last night. There goes the runner from second. The throw by Tolle right on the money, and Desmond is tagged out. Perfect throw from Josh Tolle, and Desmond is thrown out trying to steal third.
Well, not a bad effort here to get something going. And he is, oh boy, let's see the tag here. It's one of those cases. Oh, he might have been safe. Here's a good angle right here.
Ball beats him. Is David throwing on that left arm?
Yeah, yeah, he's got him.
So 2 out and nobody on. Suzuki bounces one slowly for Murphy to handle, and that'll do it for the Nationals in the top of the second. A double erased and a caught stealing. Nobody left. 1-0 Washington. Presented by Citi. Welcome to Citi Tuesdays, where Citi credit and debit card holders enjoy savings and benefits at Citi Field. Learn more at Mets.com/Citi Tuesdays.
Very nice.
You know, it was a gorgeous day in New York today, and when I looked up at the sky this morning, I couldn't help but think that it was just as clear a day as it was 11 years ago today.
Yeah.
Here's Andres Torres trying to bunt his way on and pops one up, and Adam LaRoche makes the easy catch. One pitch and one out for Jordan Zimmerman in the second. A bad idea by Torres, just not good execution.
We've seen that twice in 2 days, with Valdespin last night and Torres here.
And you see some frustration starting to build in that Met dugout.
They're trying to make something happen.
Yep.
Got to appreciate that.
Tolley's had good numbers against Jordan Zimmerman, 5 for 15, but he hasn't hit much against anybody lately. And he bluffs a bunt and takes a strike. Tolley just 3 for his last 39. Zimmerman hoping for a quick inning after a first inning slog that saw him throw 33 pitches and work out of a bases loaded jam with a couple of strikeouts of Baxter and Bay. R.A. Dickey waiting on deck. And a late swing by Tolley on the fastball, 1-2. The Nats pitching staff has been at the top of the league all year long. They've allowed the fewest hits. They've given up the fewest home runs of any staff in the National League.
You know, part of it is just outstanding talent, but their pitching coach has stressed that those strikes, they're going to be aggressive, they're going to go after hitters, and to a man certainly do it.
You know, I really think you talk about a manager has the team takes on the personality of the manager. I think a pitching staff can take on the personality of a pitching coach that they love.
Yeah.
And respect.
Good call.
Of course, they made the change in pitching coaches last year, bringing in Steve McCatty.
McCatty is if you get to know him and you love him, but he's a no nonsense kind of guy. You don't think of him as an old pitcher. He seems like an old everyday player.
Well, remember he pitched for Billy Martin.
He played for Billy. I know. You pitch for Billy, you can pitch for anyone.
I mean, Art Fowler was the pitching coach, but really, Art was there to hang around with Billy. Line the other way, and Tolley sinks one into left, and Morse comes sliding in and does not catch it. It's a trap, and Tolley has a base hit. Nice effort by Michael Morse, but Tolley's aboard.
And the proper call here. I think this around, he trapped it. Yep. Nice deke.
Well, the most immediate call came from second base umpire McClinsky. Boy, it almost looked like it hit
that ball hit the
bottom
grass,
of the leather.
or did it hit the glove and go into the glove?
The bottom of the leather and up and in. Let's check it out.
That could have been a catch. Let's check. Coors Light freeze cam. Almost too close to call.
If we're going to freeze it, come on, Coors Light.
I mean, that very rarely happens, but it does happen, where that ball will hit the fingers of the glove and then bounce into the pocket. Dickey up there to bunt. He's got 10 hits and 9 sacrifices this year. And he pushes one to LaRoche, but too hard. LaRoche gets the force, and Desmond turns it over for the double play. 3-6-4 to end the inning. So Dickey, normally very adept at bunting, unable to advance a runner there. So he'll head back to the mound, down 1-0. this was not a good bunt.
You can see Zimmerman keeping the pressure on, making him bunt to the other side of the infield. But note, what you don't see very much, LaRoche hustling, charging hard.
Let's go back to that play on Toley's hit. Did it hit the ground or the pinky of the glove?
Tweet it. Let's tweet it.
I mean, that's about as close as it comes, isn't it?
Let's see what the tweetsters say.
Possible call.
When Keith is appealing to the tweetsters, you know it's close. Zimmerman has 9 hits, including a home run this year, and Jordan hits one in the air to center field for Torres. And so for the first time in 3 innings, Dickey retires the leadoff hitter. So 1 out and nobody on. Jason Worth coming up. Worth singled up the middle and scored the only run of the game. In Baltimore, J.J. Hardy just hit a 2-run homer. Baltimore leads Tampa Bay 3-1. The Orioles a game behind, and the Rays 2 behind the Yankees in the AL East. The Yankees are up 1-0 in Boston in the 3rd.
Kuroda versus Lester.
Dickey trying to figure out a way to get Worth out. He's had his number. It's Matt Moore and Jason Hamill, the game in Baltimore.
Doc Holliday, a little human. Gave back 2 out of 3.
3-2 Phillies. And a fastball from Dickey. Trying a little different wrinkle, or non-wrinkle, and it's 1-1. And another fastball, 2-1. Well, there's the National League wildcard picture. The Braves comfortably in that first spot, but then some traffic behind the Cardinals, who keep trying to give it back. Cardinals have lost 4 of 5. That's 3 straight fastballs from Dickey, and now he's behind on Worth 3-1. The Dodgers a game behind, and the Pirates 2.5. But then the Phillies and the Brewers each 5 games behind starting the night. And another fastball, and again he misses with it. So Dickey throwing fastballs to Worth this time, and he winds up walking him. His first walk of the night. Frustration etched on R.A.'s face. Now will face Bryce Harper, who tried to talk his way out of the lineup but was not successful, and wound up with an opposite field double his first time up.
Oh, I think he's going to be pitched the hard knuckleball inside, because he had very defensive swings.
Down and in, though, is his strength. I think you're right, Keith. R.A.'s got a heat on. He just, you know, he's just.
He wanted the ball back from Toley.
He's frustrated. He's, you know, he wants this so bad.
Toward the hole, and a base hit for Harper, and he's 2 for 2. So Harper somehow finds himself in the lineup against his wishes, and he's got hits his first 2 times up.
Well, there you go.
Well, lesson learned, right? Davey stuck him in the lineup, 0 for 10 against Dickey or whatever, and
I think all good hitters feel this way. If they're 0 for 10 against someone, that means he's going to pay at some point.
Well, this is a young kid right here, and pretty much straight up against Zimmerman here.
Zimmerman drove in the first run with a sacrifice fly, and he takes that one out of the strike zone.
It's almost like him saying when he made the statement, and I'm sure it was purely innocent, I'm 0 for 10, I probably won't play tomorrow. It's like, punt.
Yeah, but
and Davey heard that and said, you're in there.
Again, 19 years old.
Zimmerman gets under one to left field, and Bay is right there waiting. Worth tagging at second, but he's not going anywhere, and that's the second out.
I was trying to decide which 5'5" second baseman from Harvard I was going to get out when I was 19 years old. And these big leaguers.
Whoever he was probably not cheating on exams.
That's right.
Here's Adam LaRoche with 2 out and 2 on. LaRoche popped up his first time up. We don't have those problems at Columbia and Yale, do we?
No.
At Columbia, we just have somebody impersonating a student.
I just saw that.
What the heck's wrong with the Ivy League? What's going on?
Well, this girl was so anxious to be a Columbia student, she just kind of wandered in. Can't blame her for trying. Ripped foul by LaRoche, and it's 1-1.
Tell her to audit some classes.
She was auditing more than classes.
Auditing everything. Auditing the dining hall.
I audited a couple classes at Columbia. But I was not impersonating a student.
She was getting to the keggers everywhere.
1-1 from Dickey. And LaRoche hits one out to center field. And Torres has it lined up. And he doesn't know how many out there are, but that is the third. Boy, you have to feel for Torres sometimes. He's in a different world. 1-0 Washington as we go to the bottom of the third. Astoria Federal Savings. You can listen to all Mets games on Sports Radio 66 WFAN. Final game of the series tomorrow night with Matt Harvey against John Lannon. Then the Mets are off to Milwaukee for the weekend before coming right back to Citi Field for their final homestand against the suddenly resurgent Phillies, the Marlins, and the Pirates. They're your City probables for tomorrow. Harvey makes his second to last start. And the local product John Lannon from Long Beach will go for the Nats, taking Steven Strasburg's spot in the Nats rotation. Top of the batting order, Ruben Tejada leads off against Jordan Zimmerman in the home third. Tejada singled to center his first time up. And a fastball in for a strike from Zimmerman. Murphy and Wright to follow. The Mets had a golden chance in the first inning. Bases loaded and 1 out, didn't score. Got a runner aboard in the second and again did not score. So that's now 108 consecutive home innings without scoring more than 1 run in an inning. Bearing down on those 1909 Washington Senators, who have the all-time record at 119. Lofted right center. That'll fall for a hit. And Tejada's 2 for 2. So Ruben has had a few days off in the last week. Got on base 3 times last night. He's 2 for 2 tonight.
Nope. First time up, fastball in with 2 strikes. Got to base it up the middle. Harry gets a little cutter and goes right with it nicely.
So much of that throughout the season from Ruben, serving that ball to right field.
He's got a beautiful, just takes it back, and very simple, huh, Keith?
Yep. When he gets tired, he gets a little bit, as Gary would say, corrected me last time, unwieldy.
You like that word, huh?
Yes.
It never applied to you. Right? You were never unwieldy.
I could get a little unwieldy up there.
I think of you as supremely wieldy. Here's Murphy, who walked his first time up. And takes up and away for ball one. Zimmerman walked 2 in that first inning, quite uncharacteristically.
Murphy was staring down there a long time, wasn't he, at that signs by Tuffle?
Not time for a hit and run, isn't it?
Oh.
Murphy asked for time, thought he had it, then saw Zimmerman about to throw a pitch and got a little nervous.
Oh, jeez.
And again, Zimmerman falls behind Murphy 2-0.
Zimmerman's falling off too far down to the first base line. That's why he's lost control of that pitch. His body in front of the arm, arms dragging, arm late. Ball's going to be up and away.
I don't think we've seen him behind 2-0 this often in any game ever. Murphy fouls it off, 2-1. Well, there's the Nats starting rotation minus Steven Strasburg. Gio Gonzalez, the leading winner in the majors. Then you got Zimmerman, Jackson, Detweiler, and Lannon added as the fifth wheel.
Jackson, the only pitcher there that's had postseason experience.
Boy, they're going to go with 3 starters.
Well, you know the first 2 will be Gio and Zimmerman.
Yes.
Who's the third starter? Does it depend on who they face? Do they need the lefty and Detweiler or the righty and Jackson?
You know, Detweiler, of all the 3 remaining, has been the most overpowering when you think about it. Not in the sense of strikeouts, but as far as low pitch counts, ground balls.
Well, if at some point they were to face the Braves, you'd have to figure they use Detweiler. Murphy hits it out to center, and Harper's right there. Back to first, Tejada with 1 out. And I can't think of any other team that's as defined as a left-hand hitting team as the Braves are.
Got in on Murph's hands. Good swing. Just got in on him.
So 1 out and 1 on for David Wright, who came up with 2 men on in the first and took a call third strike after getting ahead in the count 3-0. David's got a couple of home runs against Zimmerman, 8 for 25 against him. And he takes the letter high strike. Last night in Cincinnati, they had a little dust up between the Pirates and the Reds before Cincinnati won in 14 innings. At one point, Brandon Phillips got hit by a pitch from Jared Hughes. The bench is cleared. Phillips had some comments after the game via Twitter. Accused one of the Pirate players of having said something racist. He and Hughes apparently had a phone conversation before the game today to try and clear it up, and apparently everybody kind of shook hands and said they put it behind them. And then Phillips hit a home run his first time up tonight. And the Reds are up 4-1 in the third. 1-2 now to Wright.
Got to tweet that?
Well, these days.
Says something racist, why don't you pop him? That's the way to settle it.
I guess Brandon felt as though we've evolved as a civilization to the point where maybe popping him wasn't the best idea.
Well, maybe there was a bunch of people in the pack too. You know how those baseball fights are. Everybody gets brave when there's 15 people around each other.
I think it's also possible that he might have misinterpreted something, which is why they were able to iron it out over the phone today. Here's the 1-2 to David, and he fouls it back.
I would say that Zimmerman, of all the starters in the National League, pitches David consistently more in and up in the strike zone than anyone in the National League.
Here's the 1-2 to Wright, and he struck him out with a slider. So Zimmerman fans Wright for the second time, and now there are 2 out.
Well, if you set up someone inside, that's where you're going to be conscious of that pitch, and then anything away just looks so far away. Just you have no chance to reach it.
So after the leadoff hit by Tejada, now they're at 2 out. Tejada's still at first, and here's Ike Davis, who walked his first time up. 1-0 Nationals. They got the run in the first inning off R.A. Dickey. And the curveball in for a strike, 0-1.
Well, Ronnie, you were right about him falling off, because when he falls off that mound towards first base, he also flattens out that curve, too. Now he's getting on top and really got that hammer working. A down tilt.
It's a young pitcher coming off surgery, not pitching a full season, although 160 innings last year. But see that motion. It's very compact, kind of how he's built. He's 6'1", maybe 6'2", 225 pounds, strong, big back. It fits that whole name, Zimmerman with the 2 ends. And what I found interesting in this game was that he does not have his best stuff, but it certainly is better than he had in the first inning, and he's done it all without a visit.
It almost looked like, I'm sorry, Gary, Ron, correct me if I'm wrong. It almost looks like when he comes to his stretch and comes to the belt, like when he goes forward, he's leaning forward. Most guys kind of hang up erect and then push off their back foot. He's already leaning forward when he breaks from the belt.
Ike fouled one off him. I think you're right, Keith. I've talked to the hitters in the National League about what makes him so special. All of them to a man say one thing: the ball just gets on you quick. You know, he kind of short arms it up there. He doesn't have that long arm. And here's the foul ball off. It looks like his right calf, maybe.
Right above that guard that he wears.
Calf is not good for the first baseman in New York right now.
Oh boy, that was close. I tell you, this is a good inning for Zimmerman. You got to be set and ready to hit with this guy.
The biggest problem Zimmerman's running into is he's running up his pitch count. 62 already in the third inning, and he's usually a 6-inning guy in perfect conditions. 2-2 to Davis. The curveball fouled off. So the Mets are getting a lot of foul balls against Zimmerman and prolonging turns at bat. Something they did extremely effectively earlier in the year.
There are certain pitchers, Gary, as a hitter, you can go up there and relaxed, and then there's pitchers like Zimmerman, like Ronnie says, got some hair on the ball. You got to get a little more set, ready to hit.
And another full count. That's already the 5th full count that Zimmerman has run in this game. That'll get Tejada in motion with 2 out. Got 2 pitchers here today in a 1-0 game who couldn't look more unhappy. Roche behind Tejada, 3-2 to Davis, and he bounces the slider foul.
Happens sometimes. You come to the ballpark, and I don't care what's going on, you're just in a bad mood for the entire time you're here or on the field.
I've seen both Zimmerman and Dickey snapping at their catchers, tossing their head in frustration. It's a 1-0 game.
Yeah, it's a 1-0 game, but they both want it really bad. Zimmerman struggled a little in his last starts, as you mentioned, and Dickey going for 19.
3-2, curveball. Did he go? They check at third. No swing. Ball 4 to Davis, who walks for the second time. Third walk given up by Zimmerman, and the Mets have 2 men on.
Well, pretty good at bat by Ike. 2 good at bats by Ike.
Well, I think it's one of the best at bats of the game so far. Curveball for a strike, fastball up. That's the one he fouled off his calf. Holding off on that pitch, fouling off a difficult curveball, took that away. Fouling off another tough pitch, and this curveball nasty, but able to hold up. Good at bat by Ike.
So 2 out and 2 on for Baxter, who struck out his first time, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Baxter hitting 5th for the first time this year. Struck out on 3 pitches with the bases loaded and 1 out in the first. Baxter's numbers have fallen off considerably. He's 0 for his last 11 and 6 for his last 40. Batting here with 2 out and 2 on. And Mike hits one out to left field, easy for Michael Morse. And that retires the side. So Zimmerman again gives up a couple of base runners and gets through it. Dickey back to the mound, 1-0 Washington. Morris will lead off against R.A. Dickey, and we check in with Kevin.
And what is the opposing view to trying to hit a knuckleball? Well, I asked Michael Morris exactly that, and he said approach, throw it out the window. There can't be an approach to this knuckleball. For me, I feel like I'm playing in a softball game or a wiffle ball game. You just go up there and take a softball-like hack. He said the only adjustment that I make is he uses a big bat to begin with. He uses 34.5 length, 34.5 ounce. Said actually the only time I adjust that is when I face R.A. Dickey. I make it a ½ inch longer, so it's 35, 34.5. I'm trying to get any advantage I can. If that extra ½ inch could get the batter on the ball, I'll take it. Other than that, it's really just go up and try and see it and hit it, guys.
Well, he didn't hit that one. Josh Tolley caught it with his eyes closed and cringing at the same time. And so it goes with the knuckleball. Murphy right in front of that ground ball. And Morse retired, one away. That'll bring up Ian Desmond, who drove a double to right center, leading off the second. Later was caught stealing third. Nationals got their run in the first inning. Worth singled, Harper doubled, Zimmerman lifted a sac fly. Dickey did well to avoid further damage. Mets wasted a huge chance in the bottom of the first. And so you got two pitchers in a 1-0 game, neither one of whom has been happy with what has transpired so far. 1-0 to Desmond.
Well, the Nats have had their opportunities in the first 3 innings to get to Dickey, and Dickey's pitched out of it.
The slower knuckleball is popped up into shallow right center, and Baxter eases in to grab it. Quickly, there are 2 out.
That's still a tumbler, Ronnie, right there.
Tumbler, but 8 outs in the air so far for R.A. Dickey.
You know, Dickey was talking about the start in St. Louis and how humid it was that day, and that made it a tougher day for the knuckleball, and we know that humidity is certainly a factor. By all odds, this should be a perfect night for throwing the knuckleball. Grounded to shortstop, and Tejada will handle it. There's very little wind, no humidity, cool night, and Dickey seems to be getting into some kind of a groove. 1-0 Washington. Chance to win $1,000 plus do over the voiceovers on the SNY commercials featuring disgruntled sports memorabilia. It's the SNY voiceover do-over contest. Deadline September 21st. To enter, visit Facebook and like SNY today. Did you get all that? You can do over the voiceover.
Wow.
That's your stuff.
Well, Anybody can do it. Here's Jason Bay leading off in the home 4th inning against Jordan Zimmerman. Bay struck out with the bases loaded to end the 1st inning. Jason, after a solid few days on the road, is now back to 0 for his last 9, and he drives this one to center field, chasing Harper toward left center. He dives and he makes the catch. That ball kept working its way away from Harper, and he finally had to leave his feet.
This was a knuckleball, I believe.
Yes, I think you're right, Keith.
Watch it knuckle here late. It is going away. Sure hands. Nice recovery.
So 1 out and nobody on. Andres Torres takes ball 1. Torres tried to bunt his way on and popped one up to LaRoche's first time up. Mets have left 5 runners on base in the first 3 innings. They've had base runners in every inning. Zimmerman has already walked 3, far beyond his norm. There's a strike to Torres, 2-1. Zimmerman has had only 3 other starts this year in which he's walked 3 or more batters. And only once has he walked more than 3. That was back in May. He walked 4 in a game against the Phillies. Here's the 2-2, and Torres waits on it and lines it to Ryan Zimmerman for the 2nd out. Well, nice job by Torres waiting on the curve, but there was Ryan Zimmerman with that big glove.
Well, it's a big hang with him. Nice hitting by Torres on the breaking ball. Didn't find the hole.
The book got him, right?
So 2 well-struck balls here in the 4th and 2 outs, and now Josh Tolley, who had a base hit his first time up. Ball that was trapped by Morse in left field. And he takes below the knees for ball 1. So Zimmerman with a chance for his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. And gets a strike, 1-1. Well, the Nationals have committed far fewer errors this year than last year. Of course, they're an entirely different team than they were last year.
Who works quicker than these 2 pitches right here? R.A. Dickey and Zimmerman. Can't wait to get the ball to the plate. That helps your defense.
Dickey would be next. Two-two to Tolley, and he fouls one away. SNY's Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Again, the 2-2 from Zimmerman, and the curve ball topped toward first, a foul ball. Is it that hard to reach down and pick up the ball? You have to use your foot.
Got a lot of kids maybe grew up playing soccer. I don't know.
Well, the Mets have been fouling off enough pitches, and Zimmerman's been erratic enough around the strike zone that he's got him up to 80 pitches now in the 4th inning, despite not allowing a run. And now another full count, his 6th full count. He's only faced 17 batters.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have it, and he's got a shutout. 4 2/3, 3 2/3.
Well, Gio Gonzalez was not sharp last night and allowed just 1 run. And Tolley goes down on strikes to end the inning. 5 strikeouts for Jordan Zimmerman, his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. We go to the 5th, 1-0 Nats.
18th tonight, but it's the Nationals with the 1-0 lead as we go to the 5th here at Citi Field. These Nationals have been clutch all year long. They've had great late wins. They've had a lot of big-time series, a lot of key defining moments. But speaking with manager Davey Johnson today, I asked him, tell me the signature moment that has really, just defined this team for what it's been this year. And without hesitation, he said, our organization was built the right way. And for me, clearly the signature moment was the young guys stepping in for key guys. And you go back to how this season started for us. We were without our left fielder, the power guy, Michael Morris, right from the get-go. We were without our closer, Drew Storen, right from the get-go. We knew during the middle of the season Jason Worth gets hurt. He's down for 2 months. And look what happens. Guys stepped up. Younger guys came in and stepped up. You had Harper come up and immediately stepping in and stepping up. How about a guy like Lombardozzi, who's only really played second base, and I throw him in left field. Wow, what a stop by David Wright. And Ike finishes it off. Some play, and there's one down.
Staggered, but not decked.
Oh, gee. A little tracer, wasn't it? Olay.
Took him a while to figure out where he was.
Where am I?
Toro. Beautiful. Nice play. Seen it all year from Dave.
You were saying, Kevin?
I almost dropped my microphone on that play. It was startling.
Wow.
Just finishing the thought from Davey on Steve Lombardozzi. He said, here's a guy who, for an example, only played second base. Morse goes down. He said, hey, you're playing left field and you're leading off. And he stepped up and ran with it. He said, our signature moment, clearly, young guy stepping in for key guys and never looking back.
Kevin, I'll add one more to that. My estimation was Davey in 1984 fought for a 19-year-old pitcher as Zimmerman goes down, and it made the difference in the Mets that season and beyond. Well, when Harper was brought up, there was talk in the organization that he is going to be sent down. He's only up as a stopgap measure. And what did Davey do? He batted him third for a week. And he had a hot week, and he got to a point where you could not set him down. So I thought that was a pretty amazing moment for this to have a 19-year-old being their center fielder.
The thing I know about Davey is he understands talent and he believes in talent.
He really does.
2 out and nobody on. Here's Jason Worth. And you hear it from everybody who's ever played for Davey Johnson. He treats you like a man, not like a kid. So you combine those two things and you get talented players who are allowed to express their talent.
Davey was all about, he believed in you so much that he would never say, hey, if so-and-so wins 15 games or Keith Hernandez bats 300, he would just go, hey, Keith gets his 500 at bats. If Darling and Gooden get their 70 starts, we're going to be great. That's how he felt about it. If you were out there on the field, he knew you were going to get it done.
Dickey continues to struggle with Jason Worth, who has a single and a walk today. And is 12 for 26 against RA. He still hasn't figured out a pattern for him. Threw them all fastballs the last time, and this time a 3-1 knuckleball misses, and Worth's on for the third straight time. I have never seen him this annoyed.
Give me the ball. Let's go. He took that ball as soon as he threw it in the dugout. That one's no good. Give me another one.
He's now walked 2. He struck out 2. Dickey started the night with 195 strikeouts, third in the league. He's now tied Steven Strasburg for second. Of course, Strasburg will get no more. Clayton Kershaw with 201 leads the league. Just 4 ahead of Dickey now.
Well, 2 balls hit to the left side of the infield. So look at Tejada even moving over more to take that hole away.
And this one pulled into right field, and Harper is 3 for 3. Worth will go first to third. And the Nats have runners at the corners with 2 out. Well, it's kind of like a guy who plays who isn't expected to because someone gets hurt. Harper playing because his manager felt more confident about his ability than he did to hit R.A. Dickey, and all he's done is go 3 for 3.
There you go. I guarantee you Davey's going to have a big joke with Bryce Harper either after the game or tomorrow. He's going to be smiling. You know what they're smiling about.
Yep.
And that's why R.A. was so annoyed with the walk to Worth. Doesn't take a lot.
Ryan Zimmerman takes a strike. Zimmerman has driven in the only run of this game with a first inning sacrifice fly. His 8th straight game with an RBI. First Washington National ever to do that. But since then, Dickey has been solid in run scoring situations. And Zimmerman pops it up. Tejada calling, and Murphy comes over, but Tejada able to make the catch, and Dickey sidesteps another damaging inning. Halfway through now at Citi Field, 1-0 Nats. And the lights shimmering where the Twin Towers used to stand. You go down there, it's what they call the voids. And of course, the yearly ceremony today, the reading of the names, starting at the moment when the first plane hit. R.A. Dickey leads off in the home 5th inning. Mets down 1-0. This is the problem with trying to win 20 games. You have to have run support. The bases decked out in commemoration of the day. Dickey tried to sacrifice his first time up, but bunted into a double play. Tejada and Murphy to follow in the 5th against Jordan Zimmerman, who's had a very high pitch count. I haven't counted the number of foul balls, but it's a John Mayne-like total for Jordan Zimmerman so far.
Sid Fernandez-like.
Zimmerman was throwing in the first 4 innings consistently 94, 93. Now he's been touching at 91 right now off Dickey.
And Dickey chases that slider and strikes out. That's 6 strikeouts now for Zimmerman. It's all things New York sports, all on one site, SNY.TV, the ultimate blog network featuring a continuous flow of sports news straight from the best New York sports blogs. SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Here's Tejada, who's 2 for 2. By the way, I dug out the quote from Bryce Harper after the game last night. He said, "I'm not going to start tomorrow. In, out, up, down, back and forth, light, heavy, tried it all, just can't hit the guy." He's 3 for 3. I guess his scouting report on himself was not exactly right.
Those teenagers.
Well, that's a good lesson right there.
A liner over the head of Espinosa, and Tejada is 3 for 3. Well, the 22-year-old matching the 19-year-old.
Fastball in, and this is when he's at his best, when he can inside out and stay level like that on that pitch up.
So the Mets have 4 hits tonight, and Tejada has 3 of the 4. Now Daniel Murphy has walked and flied out 0 for 1. At some point, can you play hit and run?
Oh, threw that one right by him.
You would think tonight would be the night because of the swing, a lack of swing and misses against Zimmerman, but
how about a lack of offense? Get something going.
I mean, Zimmerman in his last start against the Cubs had 16 swings and misses, but he has not been a swing and miss pitcher tonight. Not that way. Quickly gets ahead on Murphy 0-2.
Oh, there you go.
It's a banner shirt. Murphy in an 0-2 hole and takes one the other way. Foul. Broke his bat, I think.
Yes, he did. Yep. Off the end.
You got to be careful with Murph with these backdoor curveballs for strikes, because he'll just flip it to left field. If you want to throw that pitch, you need to bounce it,
especially with 2 strikes.
Yeah, 0-2.
You got to go in and get Murph with 2 strikes. Any good hitter.
And Murphy takes that one the other way. Morse chasing to the line. He won't get there, and it lands for a base hit, and it bounces away from Morse. Here comes Tejada around third. Tejada heading home, and he will score the tying run. An RBI double for Daniel Murphy, and the Mets get even. It's 1-1.
Oh, they opt to stay away from Murph. Fastball up and away, just kind of slices it down the left field line. Takes a funky carom.
It came very close to bouncing out of play across the sidewall. It hit the railing. If it goes over that railing, Tejada has to go back to third.
Tejada knows it's going to drop right away. Going to score easily once it's a bad carom. And can the Mets get a crooked number up on the board?
It's been 110 innings at home without more than 1 run in an inning. David Wright will try and end that streak and get a lead for R.A. Dickey.
Pitcher / cheerleader.
Wright has been up twice, struck out twice, looking in the first, swinging in the third. Ground ball toward the hole, past the dive of Desmond. Here comes Murphy around third. He'll score the lead run, and the Mets go up 2-1. The streak is over. 110 innings at home without a crooked number, and now there's a deuce on the board.
Hallelujah. Boy, oh boy, Desmond just went right under his glove here. David gets his 81st RBI.
And just like that, the Mets put together 3 straight hits and score a pair for Dickey. Steve McCatty's going to visit the mound. Well, all those pitches that Zimmerman threw over the first 4 innings might have caught up with him here in the 5th. Yes, that is a crooked number.
Very nice.
Well, we did the research on the foul balls. 21 foul balls already against Jordan Zimmerman in 4 1/3 innings. And that has raised that pitch count and got Tom Gorzelani to work in the Nationals bullpen.
If you wanted to, after a pitching coach comes to visit the pitcher, a lot of talk about how to face the hitter, a lot of talk about your mechanics. good time for David to try to steal one.
R.A. Dickey, bidding for his 19th win, now has a lead at a time when he's just starting to settle into a groove. 1 day shy of a month since the Mets scored more than 1 run in an inning here at their home ballpark. And now they've got 2 on the board here in the 5th and hoping for more. Mike Davis has been up twice and walked both times. And Ari's got to be thinking, you know what? I've got my lead. I can't afford to give up anything else.
I think that's what was happening on the bench when he was cheerleading for David to get a hit. Come on, get me ahead. Put me ahead and I'll keep it there. And that's how you feel.
He had his best inning in the top of the 5th. And Davis takes one wide, and that's where Zimmerman's been working him all night. R.A. came into the day 1 behind Gio Gonzalez for the lead in wins, leading the league in ERA, 3rd in the league in strikeouts, and he's moved up into a tie for 2nd already tonight in that category. That's the pitching triple crown, and he's got a chance to win all 3. Certainly has a chance to be leading or tied for the lead in all 3 by the end of the night. And the curveball sits high to Davis, and it's 2-1 as Zimmerman bears down on 100 pitches here in the 5th inning. Mike Baxter waiting on deck. Well, you have to figure even if Zimmerman gets through this inning, this is going to be his last rodeo. Well, we talked about the Phillies making their move in the National League wildcard race. What about the Brewers, who have won 16 of their last 21? Tonight, Ricky Weeks with a 1st inning home run off Tim Hudson, and the Brewers up 1-0 on Atlanta. Things are getting more and more interesting in that National League wildcard race. 2-2 to Davis, and he pops one up. And Ryan Zimmerman into foul ground. 2 out. So Wright still at first with 2 away. As you look at those National League wildcard standings, the Phillies and the Brewers both have a chance to get to 500 tonight, and both are leading their games.
Well, for the Phillies and the Brewers, the most important thing is to get to 500. That's their first mark. Then to get over, and then just try to peck away. There's a lot of teams in front of them. You don't like having those teams in front of you.
I mean, the team that seems to be poised to win that second wild card is the Dodgers. There's Mike Baxter. I mean, they spent so much money, took on so many future obligations trying to get to the postseason this year, and they've been stumbling all over themselves, and yet they're only a game behind the Cardinals, and they start a series, a 4-game series with St. Louis later this week. Baxter's 0 for 2, struck out and flied out. Ball and a strike.
What it tells me, guys, is that if you can get to middle of September with a 500 record, you're still in it. I mean,
you got
that's
it.
amazing, right?
Well, let's hope we don't get like the other sports where everybody gets in. This is enough.
Well, it's true in the National League, not quite as true in the American League. I mean, we've got the Tigers who are 6 games over 500, and yet they're still 5 games out of that wild card. So it's all the, every year you have different circumstances, and this year with that second wild card, it certainly has opened up more possibilities.
10 out of 30, right?
1-2 to Baxter, and he pops one up. Desmond back, Harper in, and Desmond calls and has it to end the inning. But the Mets put up their first multiple run inning in almost a month in support of R.A. Dickey. Tejada with his 3rd hit got aboard. Murphy took one the other way to drive in the tying run, and then David Wright put the Mets in front. It's 2-1 New York after 5. R.A. Dickey pitching with the lead for the first time tonight. Faces Adam LaRoche leading off in the 6th. LaRoche has popped to second, flying to center 0 for 2. Mets have the full shift on against him, and he takes the big hack at the knuckleball and fouls it off. 1-1.
Well, it's something we've become kind of ordinary. The Mets' extreme defensive shifts all season long.
And that one dropped for a strike, and it's 1-2.
That was a good one. That's the best one he's thrown. Yep. That's a good one to take.
Michael Morris on deck, and Desmond behind him. 2-2 to LaRoche, and it's at his feet, a full count. Dickey has walked 2 tonight. He struck out only 2. He's averaging nearly 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. It's been a difficult road for him tonight, but he's held the Nats to 1 run and 5 hits. 3-2. Ripped down the line. It's foul.
Ball explodes off this guy's bat, doesn't it?
Well, he's a lot similar. Takes a big swing like Ike, but he's much less movement than Ike.
29 home runs this year for LaRoche, 4th in the National League. Dickey takes a deep breath and tries another, and he walked him, and the Nats have the leadoff man on in the 6th. 3rd walk for Dickey. We check in with the studio at game break with Eamon McEnany. Halladay working on that game for the Phils. Here's Michael Morris, who struck out and grounded out. So Dickey, after being handed the lead, walks the leadoff hitter in the next inning and throws a strike to Morris. 0-1. Morris giving a withering look to Rob Drake, thinking that might have been high. Hate the Drake. Double play ball right at Murphy. Tejada with the easy turn for the 4-6-3 double play. That's first double play of the night.
Taylor made.
So that makes the task that much easier for R.A. He'll face Desmond with 2 out and nobody on. Desmond drove a double to right center in the 2nd. Flied out to right in the 4th, 1 for 2. Tom Gorzolani continuing to throw in the bullpen. You would have to think that Zimmerman is done after 103 pitches in 5 innings. And Desmond flies one to shallow right, and Baxter is there waiting, and that retires the side. We go to the bottom of the 6th at Citi Field. 2-1 New York. Bergenfield Little League, the latest recipient of the SNY Play Ball Award. The grant helped pay for repairs to their field, which was damaged by recent storms. You can see more of their story and those of past recipients at sny.tv/playball. Tom Gorzelani on in relief for the Nats as we go to the bottom of the sixth.
He's a guy that was a starting pitcher in Pittsburgh and Chicago, came over here and went to the bullpen and has been outstanding. He has been awfully tough on the Mets, and 17 times in his 41 appearances he's gone 2 or more innings, so he can pitch 2 or 3 innings.
Gorzelani's been in 5 games against the Mets this year, a total of 9 innings, only 2 runs allowed. Jason Bay, Andres Torres, and Josh Tolley to bat against Gorzelani in the 6th. So Jordan Zimmerman went 5 innings, allowed 2 runs, 6 hits, walked 3, struck out 6, and leaves trailing 2-1. Bay is 0 for 2, struck out and line to center, and he takes low and inside for ball 1. Well, the Mets were able to leave the 1909 Washington Senators alone in the record book by getting 2 runs in the 5th inning. That team from 103 years ago went 119 innings at home without a multiple run inning. The Mets went 110, the 2nd longest streak in Major League history. But now it's over.
Thank God it's over.
And perhaps now the floodgates open.
Floodgates, and maybe produces a W.
Do you remember a couple of years ago the Mets had gone like 2.5 years without hitting a grand slam?
Yeah, that's
and
right.
And then they hit them in back-to-back innings.
That's right. Jason Bay and Carlos Beltran
In Detroit.
That was the best offense I've seen in a long time by the Mets.
Zimmerman scoops up Bay's grounder. High throw, and LaRoche came off the bag, and Bay is safe. Well, we said last night that the awkward throwing of Zimmerman had not cost him. It cost him there.
Well, he's got the shoulder issues, and you can see he just kind of lollipops it over. Not a good throw.
You know, it's interesting. Usually we see him on that play continue to come in and throw the ball from sidearm or submarine. This time choosing to throw over the top.
And can I say one thing? Yeah. Bay always running hard to first base. That's a routine ground ball. He could have lollygagged it, and it would have been in. LaRoche would have had time to make a tag. He always runs everything out.
15 errors now for Zimmerman. A chance for the Mets here in the 6th as Torres fouls one back. And let's check in with Kevin.
Well, we see Zimmerman with a rare mistake, and we've talked a lot on our broadcast about the Mets' future and kind of evaluating some of these players going forward, guys. And you know, I got an interesting take on David Wright and his situation from Ryan Zimmerman. I mean, think about it, there's so many similarities in how they play and their demeanor off the field, and obviously good friends growing up together from Virginia Beach. And this spring training, Zimmerman, there are a lot of particulars to his deal, but essentially signed a 7-year $124 million extension. And I asked him about David Wright and would the Mets and should the Mets sign him to a similar type deal, and he said, well, I'll say this, there are not too many guys in sports that you can trust both on and off the field, and he's one of those guys. And he said, you know, we of course are friends, but we don't talk a lot about that stuff. We never have. We try not to get caught up in it. I think we're similar and we're consistent personalities that way. But in talking about his own decision, and he was still under contract for this year and next, but in talking about his own decision, I said, put yourself in David's position with the Mets. How would you go about it? He said, well, you know, I know before I signed that deal, I had a talk with Mike Rizzo, the general manager, and you know, I wanted to know about the plan. I wanted to know who we had in the system. I wanted to know if we had a chance to be good. And of course, I wanted to be here. But yeah, you know, I wanted to win, and it made it easier knowing that we had a future. Now, did I know that we'd be this good so quickly? I didn't. But it certainly was a big factor. And for me, for David, I'd be surprised if that factor, winning, doesn't come into play in his decision. Guys?
Well, you know, David's in the middle of his career, and I said it before. You know, you've had so much success, Gold Glove. You saw those numbers as far as all the statistics, leader, offensive numbers of leading the Mets all time. The only thing that's not there on is the World Series winner, as there goes Torres down. So I tell you what, when I got in the middle of my career, you get kind of a doldrum, and David, we said it earlier. We talked about it a while ago that David was on good teams early in his career. Now it's in the middle of his career. Boy, you get in that middle of your career and you feel like, oh my gosh, I've got another 12, 11 years left. Hopefully, if I stay healthy.
Double play ball. Desmond with the turn. Double play.
So it's kind of a lull period for David right now in the middle. And for me, I was traded and got a new lease on life with a new organization here in New York. That was a big lift for me. We'll see what David's decision is going to be.
And he's only thrown 69 pitches. One of those nights where you know that RA is thinking about the finish line even before we get close to it, because he is, I'm sure, wanted to keep this in his own hands as he tries for his 19th win of the year. Danny Espinosa chases, and strike one to start the seventh.
Gary, when you're in these kind of games, you start to feel this. Okay, I got the seventh place hitter up, Espinosa. He's a guy that strikes out a lot. I got to get him out. Then I have the 8th place hitter, Suzuki, and a pinch hitter. I could have an easy inning if I get the first guy out. So that's how you start to think about the anatomy of getting through an inning.
Well, he's had 15 starts already this year where he's gone at least 7 and allowed no more than 1 run. Ground ball snagged by Dickey, and that's the first out of the 7th. The Met Club record for most starts in a season, 7 or more innings, 1 run or less. Doc Gooden, he did it 18 times in his marvelous 1985 season. The major league record is 24 such starts by Bob Gibson.
Bob Gibson in '68.
Right.
The 1.12 earned run average. Can you imagine?
No. No.
And made him lower the mound after that year.
That was the year known as the year of the pitcher. The year Denny McClain won 31 games.
And Bob Bolin had a great year that year. It was only.
Luis Tiant had an amazing year.
How come when it was the decade of the hitter in the 90s, they didn't do anything for the pitcher?
Because chicks dig the long ball.
Oh, okay. That's.
Kurt Suzuki is 0 for 2. He was absolutely robbed of a base hit his last time up on a brilliant play by David Wright. Tyler Moore is out on deck to pinch hit. And Suzuki slugs one into left field for a base hit. So the Nats have their 6th hit against Dickey. Tying run at first with 1 out, and Tyler Moore will be the pinch hitter. Moore has got a lot of power. Christian Garcia, recently called up by the Nats, gets up in the bullpen. Well, Davey Johnson has left-hand hitters on the bench, but against Dickey, he wants his power guy. And so it's Moore who slugs one to deep left field. Bay goes back, looks up, and it's out of here.
Wow.
First pitch, Tyler Moore, a 2-run pinch hit home run to turn the game around. It's 3-2 Washington.
Well, Davey pushing all the right buttons.
9th home run of the year for Moore, his 2nd as a pinch hitter. And just like that, the Nationals turn a deficit into a lead.
Off the bench, haven't seen a knuckleball all night. First pitch.
Wow. Didn't knuckle, and when you're a pinch hitter, thou shall not pass.
19 home runs allowed by R.A. Dickey, but maybe none more painful than that one.
Season of high fives for the Nationals.
Jason Worth has been on base 3 straight times, a single and 2 walks, and he scored the first Washington run back in the first. And Dickey again falls behind him 2-0.
Boy, things are going right when stuff like that happens, when everybody contributes.
Dickey has been unable to even throw a fastball for a strike to Worth tonight. And now he finally does.
Boy, did that let the air out of the balloon.
Well, the Mets are going to have to find some more offense if Dickey's going to get a win tonight. They finally muscled up and got a couple of runs in an inning to give him a lead, but now the Nats have taken that lead back. And what will be very difficult for Terry Collins is, as Worth hits another one toward the middle, and Tejada can't make the play. It'll be an infield hit for Worth. And Worth on base for the 4th straight time. I was going to say, if Dickey gets through this inning, he is due to lead off for the Mets at the bottom of the 7th. You're down by a run, and your guy is trying to win his 19th game.
Got a pinch hit for him.
So your only chance for him to win would be to get 2 runs in that 7th inning.
Correct.
As opposed to letting him bat and hoping to do it one at a time.
And hasn't got through this inning yet either.
Right. There's a big if. Here's Bryce Harper, who is 3 for 3 today, a double and 2 singles. And he fouls back the first pitch knuckler.
And all of a sudden, he's taking a much more confident swing than those first 2 at bats.
You know, Keith, you made a good point. He might think about this in the future. Not swinging so hard, just a controlled swing, much better contact.
Josh Edgin quickly up in the Mets bullpen as Dickey struggles here in the 7th. He's given up 3 straight hits. And Harper fouls that one back, and it's 0-2.
Good cut, 2 good cuts.
Well, this might be some of the best swings we've seen on the knuckleball from R.A. Dickey all season long.
Past the mound, Tejada near the bag, steps and fires, and he got him. Double play. A brilliant double play turned by Ruben Tejada. Like a ballet dancer around the bag, got his toe to the cushion and doubles up Harper to end the inning. The Nats take the lead on the 2-run pinch hit home run by Tyler Moore. 7th inning stretch time. Let's send it to Citi Field public address announcer Alex Anthony.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps as we honor our great nation and all of the men and women who help keep us safe and free with the singing of God Bless America. Please welcome firefighter Regina Wilson of the FDNY.
God bless America. land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, Regina Wilson of the FDNY.
Garcia will make his 5th major league appearance as the Nats take a 1-run lead into the bottom of the 7th.
Well, a little bit like Chin-Min Wong for the Nationals. 2 Tommy John surgeries in his career.
And like Chin-Min Wong, he was with the Yankees in their farm system for 7 years. And after that second Tommy John surgery, they released him. Jordany Valdespin bats for R.A. Dickey, so R.A.'s only chance for his 19th win tonight is for the Mets to get a couple of runs here in the 7th. John Roush getting ready for the 8th. And Valdespin takes it high, and it's 2-0.
Very interesting. Davey Johnson opting for a September call-up here. 6.5 game lead over the Braves.
Well, Garcia had a phenomenal year in the minor leagues for the Nats this year at AA and AAA. 45 games, he worked to a 0.86 ERA, 52 innings, 31 hits, 17 walks, and 66 strikeouts.
Wow.
Michael Gonzalez staying ready in the Nats bullpen.
Overthrowing here, though, on his first 3 pitches.
So Valdespin being patient. And he takes a strike, 3-1. Tejada and Murphy to follow for the Mets as they try and come back here in the 7th. Mets were down 1-0. Scored 2 in the 5th with Murphy and Wright driving in the runs. But Tyler Moore's 2-run pinch hit home run against Dickey in the 7th put Washington back on top. And Valdespin now with a full count.
With some serious late sink on it.
So Dickey goes 7 innings, allows 3 runs and 8 hits. His ERA goes up to 2.68, but that's still good enough to lead the league. And the speed, down on the changeup, and Garcia comes from 3-0 to get his man. 1 out.
Well, the thing that makes this so great is that both of his sinker and his changeup have the same action. Starts outside, one's 10 miles an hour.
Here's your AT&T trivia question for tonight. Last National League pitcher to win 20 games on a team with a losing record. Which is what R.A. Dickey is attempting to do this year. We all know about Carlton in 1972. Was there anybody after that? Tejada's 3 for 3 tonight. And Ruben takes inside for ball 1. We talked about Sandy Koufax's record, which is the highest winning percentage for any pitcher on a losing team. He went 19-5 in 1964 for a Dodger team that was under 500.
That 1990 team of the Mets win over 500 record?
Yes.
Okay.
They were second that year.
I do think there is another pitcher.
Since Carlton? Yep. I mean, Carlton was 27-10 for a team that won 59 games, which is one of the most phenomenal feats in Major League history. Garcia gets ahead on Tejada 1-2. Well, Dickey will have 4 more starts after tonight to try and get to 20 wins, to try and solidify a Cy Young. But if he's going to win tonight, let's have to do it right now. Tejada out on a pitch in the dirt, and Suzuki completes the putout. Back-to-back strikeouts for Christian Garcia. 2 out and nobody on. And you were wondering why Davey would put a call-up in this spot. Looks pretty good.
Yes. I was thinking Randy Jones comes to mind. You know, we're playing Washington. There's an expo.
How about Phil Niekro for those bad Braves teams?
Yeah.
He had a year he was 25-21.
How about someone from Montreal? Ross Grimsley. He had 20 wins. Did they lose? They have a losing record in '79, I believe, was the year he won 20.
Well, let's end the speculation and answer the trivia question. Last National League pitcher to win 20 games on a team with a losing record.
Oh,
how about that?
Wow.
I did not realize that Maddox had won 20 for a losing Cubs team. How about that? And of course, that was his last year with the Cubs. He then signed a free agent deal with the Braves and won the Cy Young the next year.
Geez, this kid's got some serious sinkage.
By the way, since Maddox did that, it's happened 4 times in the American League. Kevin Brown, Pat Henkin, Brad Radke, and Roger Clemens all won 20 for a losing team.
Radke with the Twins?
1997.
Oh, my goodness.
Breaking ball gets Murphy. Christian Garcia strikes out the side in the 7th, and R.A. Dickey will not get a win tonight. 3-2 after 7. better than Roush has been the last 3 months.
Well, I mean, 2 runs in his last 21 and a third innings. Dates back to June.
Since June the 12th, opposing hitters are 9 for 89 against John Roush. They have a 101 batting average and a 165 on base percentage against Roush the last 3 months.
It's almost like the same time you guys took a trip to Tampa Bay, wasn't it?
That's when he turned it around.
Now R.A. Dickey now hoping for a no decision as Ryan Zimmerman leads off against the former National Roush. Dickey had a 2-1 lead, but Tyler Moore came up as a pinch hitter and with a man aboard hit a first pitch knuckleball out of the ballpark to turn this game around and denied Dickey a chance for win number 19.
Moore's second home run against the Mets right this season. Jonathan Neese, he had one in Washington.
Well, Dickey's next start will come when the Mets get home from Milwaukee. He'll take on the Phillies. I guess will be Monday night. So he's got 6 days to try again.
Oh boy, Philly just pouring it on.
Jimmy Rollins with a home run there.
Oh, that Miami team is just in the tank.
Well, there's only one thing to watch there, and that's Giancarlo Stanton, and he hit another tonight, number 34.
Gee.
Hit it off Halladay.
Couldn't make contact against the Mets in the series.
Zimmerman, it's a rocket through the hole, and he has his first hit of the night. Zimmerman now has a 15-game hitting streak with that base hit. There's your Mazda drive around the majors. Brandon Phillips with a home run. The Pirates are sinking in the Central. They're now just 4 games over 500 and trailing tonight. J.J. Hardy a 2-run homer as the Orioles lead Tampa Bay behind Jason Hamill 5-1 in the 6th. And we mentioned Rollins' home run. The Phillies trying to get even closer in that wild card race. The Cardinals, who lead that second wild card, are in San Diego tonight facing a Padres team that is primed to play spoiler against everybody. San Diego's won 14 of the last 18 after beating the Cardinals last night. Here's Adam LaRoche with a man on. And LaRoche fouls him back. LaRoche 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. Adam Wainwright, who did not look good against the Mets last week, starts for St. Louis tonight. And that's going to be a concern for the Cardinals coming down the stretch. Popped up. Back comes Tolle. And that'll be in the crowd. Get to Citi Field tomorrow night at 7:10 when the series with the Nationals concludes. Kids go free with the purchase of regularly priced tickets. Visit Mets.com/kidsfree now. It could be that Wainwright is hitting a wall coming back from Tommy John surgery, but they've got Chris Carpenter waiting in the wings, perhaps to take his spot. So Josh Edgin up in the bullpen, although this is the guy you would think Edgin would be in to pitch to if he were to come in. You've got right-hand hitters in Morris and Desmond behind LaRoche. One, two, and LaRoche lines one to right. Baxter comes over, can't make the diving catch. Zimmerman heads to third, and stopping at first is LaRoche. Quite an effort by Baxter, who already made a no-hit saving catch earlier this year in left field. Got this ball right at the end of the glove, but couldn't hold it.
That's a humpback line drive and great effort, and has enough to kind of scoop that ball up and prevent the double. I mean, Zimmerman right there, good base running. He's going to go to third easily. But nice play by Baxter to hold that to a single.
So Roush, who's been so good, has 2 rockets hit against him. First and third and nobody out. The infield has to come in for Michael Morris with the Mets already down a run. And Morris takes a strike.
Well, It's a game of inches, as they say.
And you can see it that much better on the Coors Light freeze cam. Gets it down to millimeters. Didn't mean to go metric on you. Slider out of the zone, 1-1 to Morse. Morse is 0 for 3, a strikeout, a ground out, and a double play. Ian Desmond waits on deck. That's now with 10 hits for the night. And Morse flies one foul down the right side. In the American League Central tonight, home runs by Dwayne Wise and Gordon Beckham, and the White Sox lead Detroit 2-0 in the fifth after Chicago won last night to stretch their lead to 3 games.
Has Wise been the best pickup for the Chicago White Sox?
Oh, umpire just dropped the ball.
Well, let's see. He helped the Yankees by making the catch that wasn't. And it goes back to the White Sox, and now he's tearing it up.
Pitches occasionally if they need him.
Roush ahead 1-2. And Morse takes low and inside. By the way, that's Jake Peavy pitching tonight for the White Sox after he got pushed back a day. Jose Quintana did a great job for them last night. Manny Acosta up alongside Edgin in the Mets bullpen. As Ricky Bonas looks on. And Morse hits one right at Tejada. He's coming home with it. And Tolley makes the tag, and he got it. The Mets eschewed the double play to try and keep the run from scoring, and they do just that. One out.
I think that Zimmerman here could have kind of got hung up there and tried to get in a rundown. Ball's hit very hard. He's got to know the infield's in. Try to get the runners to second and third. He's not going to beat that throw.
Well, if you're going to come in, you would think that you would then take out the catcher, but instead he tried to go in the back, and he never got to home plate.
Well, yeah, if you can't get there, you got to get in the rundown.
Got to get in the rundown.
So instead, runners at first and second with 1 out, and Ian Desmond the batter. Desmond's 1 for 3, doubled back in the second, was caught stealing, has flied out twice since then. Roche now at second, Morse at first, so no speed on the bases for the Nationals. And Desmond takes the fastball tight, 1-1.
Good pitch there by Roush, and that's one of the things he's been doing so well. He, at this point in his career, is more of a slider ball pitcher, but he sets it up with the fastball in.
Could use a ground ball here from Desmond. And he gets it. Murphy on the backhand. Tejada with the turn. Double play, side retired. Roush gives up a couple of hard hits, but gets out of the inning with the 4-6-3 double play. Mets come to bat with the heart of the batting order in the bottom of the 8th, down by a run. Roush likes that. Motion is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Well, Christian Garcia, who could not have looked better in the 7th inning, stays out to pitch the 8th in a 1-run game. David Wright leads off and takes a slider that goes to the backstop. David drove in the go-ahead run for the Mets in the 5th inning when they snapped their string of 110 home innings without more than 1 run. They put the Mets up 2-1 at the time. Now they're down 3-2 in the 8th. And David hits one off his foot, a foul ball. Wright, Davis, Baxter trying to get something started against Garcia, who struck out the side in the 7th. That's trying to get Dickey off the hook. Dickey has only 4 losses this year, and one of the 4 came against the Nationals. And he's on the hook tonight. 2-1 now to Wright. Drew Storen, the right-hander. Mike Gonzalez, the left-hander, up in the Nationals bullpen. Two and one to Wright. And David hits one out to right field. Coming over his Worth toward the line, and he makes the running catch. Wright retired, 1 away. Let's check in with the studio. Gary Apple is standing by with a preview of Geico Sports Night. Gary?
Gary, thanks so much. Coming up tonight, going behind the scenes with the Jets special teams coach Mike Westhoff and complete pennant race updates right up to the moment. We'll see you tonight, guys.
Girardi looks angry in that picture, doesn't he? Joel Sherman crosses path. Pitching change for the Nats. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Win Mets memorabilia from Verizon at Mets.com/Verizon Sweeps. The veteran Mike Gonzalez comes in to pitch to Ike Davis and misses high for ball 1.
Well, this is one of those you got to slap the GM on the back for this one. Signed in the beginning of May and now pitching for big outs in September.
He's only given up 1 home run all season, and that one was hit by Ike Davis.
And that was a fastball, and he got middle in, and you notice how he's missed his first 2 pitches away. And there's Drew Storen, who pitched last night.
Breaking ball in for a strike. Frank Francisco, whose birthday it is today. Happy birthday, Frank. He's 33. Up in the Mets bullpen. Kelly Shoppach out on deck to bat for Mike Baxter with a lefty in the game, and that's why Storen is getting ready for the Nats. 2-1 to Davis, and he pops it up foul. That'll come back out of play. 2-2. Well, Jordan Zimmerman had a rocky 5 innings, allowed 2 runs and 6 hits. Tom Gorzelani worked a hitless 6th, and Gorzelani is pitcher of record on the long side. Christian Garcia, very impressive, retiring all 4 batters he faced, striking out 3 of them. And David Johnson plotting to try and get the final 5 outs. Meanwhile, the Mets try to get R.A. Dickey off the hook. 2-2 to Davis, and he goes down swinging on the breaking ball, and Gonzalez has a strikeout, the 2nd out of the inning.
That's where a pitcher makes a mistake and he gets away with it. That was a back up slider. Supposed to break from the inside to the out. Watch it stay inside. Never really broke.
Just swung right through it, underneath it.
Kelly Shopping is announced as the pinch hitter. Davey Johnson on his way to the mound. He'll bring Drew Storen into the game. So Gonzalez does his job, gets his only batter on strikes, and Storen will come in to try and get the final out in the bottom of the 8th. 3-2 Washington. We'll be right back. Brought to you by Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. By Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. And by Astoria Federal Savings. Drew Storen comes on to try and get the final out of the 8th.
Well, he pitched in yesterday's ball game, but it was not easy. A couple of hits and a strikeout in an inning of work.
Kelly Shopping had been announced as the pinch hitter, but with the right-hander in the game, Terry Collins instead will go with Lucas Duda, hoping Lucas can run into one and tie the game. Duda 0 for 5 as a pinch hitter this year. Fred Lewis on deck to pinch hit for Jason Bay. 3-2 Washington, bottom of the 8th. 2 out and nobody on. And Duda watches up and away from Storen for ball 1.
Left-hander hitting .435 off Drew Storen.
Last night Storen gave up 2 hits in the 8th inning, one of them to Daniel Murphy, a left-hand hitter. Storen missed the first half of the year. Still trying to get his sea legs. And sails one outside, 2-0.
And this is what Storen went through last night. He fallen behind, and he gave up a couple base hits. Managed to get out of it, but geez, he was in and out of trouble. He was in hot water the whole inning.
So Duda with a nice advantage here. He's been a much more aggressive hitter since coming back from the minors. We'll see if he attacks here on 2-0. And he takes a rip and pops it up. Morse coming in from left field to call. Stumbles around and makes the catch, and the inning is over. Mets go down 1-2-3. On to the 9th we go. 3-2 Washington. Pinch hit, stays in the game in right field, and birthday boy Frank Francisco, turning 33 today, will pitch the top of the ninth.
Franklin Francisco, 23 out of 26, of course, here to just try to keep the Mets 1 run down.
Franklin, huh?
I like that name, Franklin. Because if you went the other way, it'd be a little redundant. Francisco.
I'm trying to remember. Franklin, wasn't he character they added to Peanuts?
That's right.
A late addition for Charles Schultz. Here's Danny Espinosa, and he swings and misses at the first pitch fastball. Espinosa 0 for 3 today. It'll be Espinosa, Suzuki, and then the pitcher's spot for the Nats in the top of the ninth as Tyler Clippard gets ready for the save opportunity in the bottom of the ninth. Roush somehow worked out of trouble in the 8th inning after giving up a couple of bullets. And now Francisco trying to keep this a 1-run game for the Mets. If the Mets do not score in the bottom of the ninth, they will set a franchise record. It would be their 12th straight home game in which they failed to score more than 3 runs. And that splitter sits high, 2-1. Mets will have Bay, Torres, and Toley due up in the bottom of the ninth. All right, Dickey will finish the night still leading the league in ERA. Tied for second in the league in strikeouts. And 1 behind Gio Gonzalez for the league lead in wins. 3-1 now to Espinosa. And the Mets can prevent him from getting a 5th loss if they can get a run in the bottom of the ninth.
Espinosa's clean shaven. I have not seen him clean shaven. He's always had the beard working.
Are you saying that he might be providing you inspiration for shaving facial hair?
I don't think so.
What's up with that, by the way? We haven't heard anything.
No, I haven't heard anything either.
What do you mean you haven't heard anything?
Hear it from yourself. I'm contemplating. Don't push me.
We'll shove the razor in your hand if we have to. 3-2 now to Espinosa. I guess the question is, should we be inquiring about a professional to do the deed?
I don't. Just let me. I'm working my way through slowly on this one.
Are you getting some help? I mean, this is a major life event.
Oh yeah.
People often consult, therapists about these things. As Espinosa ropes a base hit that'll go to the wall, chased by Duda, and Espinosa legs to second base with a leadoff double. 34th double of the year for Danny Espinosa.
Well, he got ahead in the count. Frank had to come get him, and he's down and in. He's a low ball hitter, left-handed. You can get him upstairs from the left side.
Well, now Kurt Suzuki can come up to bunt him over to third. Suzuki 1 for 3 on the day. Chad Tracy has come out on deck to be the pinch hitter for the Nats. Kurt Suzuki, one of 37 Major League Baseball players born in the state of Hawaii.
That's right.
And by my count, the Mets have had at least 5 of them. 5 of the 37. Got you, Sid, Benny Agbayani.
Right.
The one no one gets is Charlie Huff, right? Did Charlie Huff play for the Mets?
No.
Oh, I thought he
coached for the Mets.
Oh, coach for the Mets. That's right.
Tyler Yates.
Okay, that's right. The surfer.
Big surfer dude. And Carlos Diaz.
Oh.
Want to notice Suzuki?
Carlos. What a piece of work Carlos was. Carlos Diaz was a piece of work.
How we got Sid for Bob Baylor was a very good player. Solid player off the bench. But for Bob Baylor and Carlos Diaz,
It's the genius of Frank
Well,
Cashin.
that was Tom Lasorda gave up on Sid because Sid was overweight, and Lasorda just gave up on him.
Past the mound, up the middle, a base hit for Suzuki. Espinosa turns third and heads on in. Torres' throw is cut off, and the Nats have an insurance run. It's 4-2. Suzuki's second hit of the game produces a run.
Well, Davey didn't bunt in that big game in the World Series. with Howard Johnson up, if you recall, not with Suzuki. Fastball right down the pipe. And that's a big RBI base hit right there.
Well, I was tugging on Gary's sleeve because I thought that Suzuki would definitely be bunting in that situation, but another example of Davey Johnson trusting his players to come through in the clutch.
Even a player who hasn't been his for all that long. So a 2-run Washington lead, and now Chad Tracy, the veteran left-hand batter, former Diamondback, bats with Suzuki at first and nobody out, and he's not bunting either.
Well, again, Francisco, he gets locked into these. Boy, there you go, Gary. Miami making a run, big
Marlins
run.
with 4 runs home in the 7th inning to cut that Phillies lead to 1.
Francisco, when he gets locked in to just fastball only.
Shallow center, tough play. Tejada out. Torres will have to play it on a couple of bounces. It's a parachute for Tracy, and runners at first and second.
Nothing you can do about that.
We'll get a pinch runner now for Tracy. That is Yuri Perez. That is what you call a September call-up pinch running move.
Yeah.
Move you'd never see the first 5 months of the season. So Perez is the pinch runner at first, Suzuki at second, nobody out. And here's Jason Worth, who's been on base 4 straight times, all of that against Dickey, 2 singles and 2 walks. 13 hits now for the Nats tonight, and Worth takes a strike. Edge in the left-hander, Acosta the right-hander. Again in the Mets bullpen as Francisco called upon in a non-save situation, struggling tonight. This is just not Francisco at his best. Two and 1 to Jason Worth with Bryce Harper waiting on deck. Two and 2.
Split finger here by Francisco.
And 1 to hit. Just crowded him inside. He got it up.
Two and 2 to Worth, who's been on fire since coming back from the broken wrist that knocked him out for 3 months. And a full count. Three-two to Worth, and he manages to waste that fastball away.
It'd be hard to work with Worth if you're a hitting coach. He's a very awkward kind of swing.
So you would just work. What are you trying to do? What's your approach? What do you want me to? What are the things that you want me to watch you that you feel when you go bad that you do?
Yeah.
And let the hitter tell you.
Too high, ball 4. And the bases are loaded. Now in Alice in Wonderland, it was a very happy unbirthday. This is simply an unhappy birthday.
Yes.
For Frank Francisco. 3 hits and a walk, and that'll end Frankie's birthday night. Josh Edgin will come in to face Bryce Harper with the bases loaded and nobody out. The Nats have added an insurance run and lead it 4-2 as Edgin makes his way in and Francisco heads on out. We'll be right back. Top of the ninth.
Well, trying to continue the magic. No earned runs in his last 12 appearances for Josh.
Last pitched on Sunday against the Braves. Retired all 4 batters he faced. As you look at his Capital One Bank relief stats. Bryce Harper, the batter, infield in, and Harper takes a breaking ball for a strike. Harper is 3 for 4 tonight. On a night when he opined he would not be in the lineup because of his lack of prowess against R.A. Dickey. And all he did was get hits his first 3 times up.
Well, Harper hitting .227 against left-handers for the year.
In the air, shallow left, circling in his bay, but it'll drop for a base hit. Coming in to score is Suzuki, and it's now 5-2 Washington. Bay got a bad read on that ball. And Harper has his 4th hit of the night, his 49th run batted in of the year.
Well, this is just a little bit of a bloop off the end of the bat. I don't think he's going to make that play either way. And it is just, the sky is falling.
When it rains, it pours. Chicken Little. Here's Ryan Zimmerman, 1 for 3 and a sacrifice fly. Still nobody out.
Boy, Zimmerman's one of the rare right-handed hitters, Keith, that can cover that ball down. He's got power down in the strike zone.
He likes that ball middle in. And 2 strikes, he can go the other way.
One and 1 to Zimmerman. By the way, for Bryce Harper, that is his first career 4-hit game. It's not too many teenagers have had 4-hit games. Just adds another line to the ledger of this exciting young player's rookie season.
More to come.
One and 2 to Zimmerman. Nats have tacked on 2 here in the 9th. and they may render this game Clippardless if they score many more. Clippard was getting ready for his save opportunity. That may go by the boards in a moment. Wally Backman chatting with Terry Collins. Wally, who managed in Buffalo this year, has joined the coaching staff for the rest of the season.
It's more like Wally's getting an earful. Terry doing most of the talking.
The Nats now with 14 hits on the night. Dickey gave up 3 runs and 8 hits over 7 innings. Roush allowed a couple of hits in the 8th. Francisco allowed 3 hits here in the 9th, and Edgin gave up a hit to his first batter. Now Zimmerman floats one foul, and it's still 1-2. I think Edgin just reached Cholula hot sauce flamethrower territory.
What is the low ceiling on
I
that
thought
Cholula?
97 was it. We're lowering our standard already.
96 is spicy enough. Past the mound, Tejada coming home with it, gets the force there on Perez for the first out of the inning.
Oh boy, nice play. A little bobble there, but recovered nicely. And boy, Zimmerman's got to be steaming. That was a nice, easy RBI right there.
So the bases remain loaded with 1 out, and now Adam LaRoche, who's 1 for 3 and a walk tonight. These are hard times for the home team, huh?
Yeah.
The Mets had a 2-1 lead going to the 7th inning. One swing of the bat by Tyler Moore, and all the air came out of the balloon. I mean, all at once. R.A. Dickey's lead was gone, and now here in the 9th, the Nats have tacked on a couple. Edgin gets ahead on LaRoche 0-2.
The Mets struggled so mightily last year at home, and you're hoping that the changes would make it a little easier for the home team. And the first half was good, solid, but they'll lose 21 out of 25. They lose today.
If you look at the numbers since the All-Star break, the Atlanta Braves have won more games at Citi Field than the New York Mets. The Colorado Rockies have won as many games at Citi Field as the New York Mets since the All-Star break. It's stunning. 2-2 now to LaRoche with Michael Morris on deck. Mets have played pretty well on the road the last couple of road trips. But for some reason, this ballpark has stymied them for 2 months now. Here's the 2-2, and LaRoche takes it wide. Now a full count with the bases loaded. And LaRoche strikes out on the slider from Edgin, and that's the second out of the inning.
Well, got him to chase a bad slider, and then Terry's going to come out and make a move here. 3-2 slide piece out of the strike zone. Nice pitch.
So Edgin gives up a hit, gets a couple of outs, and now Manny Acosta will come in to face Michael Morris with the bases loaded and 2 out. of the night.
Man, he hasn't pitched in 3 days. Last time against the Atlanta Braves when he gave up a run in an inning.
Comes in to face Michael Morris. Bases loaded, 2 out, and gets his first pitch over for a strike. Morris is 0 for 4 tonight. Has not had the ball out of the infield. Last time up, came up with first and third and nobody out. Hit a grounder to short that resulted in a fielder's choice at the plate. 2 runs home for the Nationals in the ninth. Both of those runs charged to Frank Francisco. A ball and a strike to Morris. In Colorado tonight, the first place San Francisco Giants fell behind the Rockies 4-0. Then in the 4th inning, they got a run. And then the Giants pitcher Madison Bumgarner hit a 3-run homer to tie the game. His second of the year.
I think they're going to hold off the Dodgers.
Well, they're 5 games up heading into play tonight. Dodgers in Arizona. With Aaron Harang on the mound. A ball and 2 strikes to Morris. Clayton Kershaw got scratched on Sunday. They were originally talking about pitching him tonight, but I guess they're pushing him back till later in the week.
He's got the bad hip, right?
And then they've got Billingsley, who's banged up as well.
He's got the bad elbow. That's the second time he's gone on the DL.
One-two from Acosta, and he gets didn't get the call. He thought he had him, and so did I.
And so did Morris.
Morris was ready to walk away. But Rob Drake said no.
I think he got it right.
It missed.
Got it right. He's had a nice game behind the plate, Rob Drake.
Now Morris loves the Drake. Here's the 2-2. And that's out of the strike zone, and now a full count. So that'll put the merry-go-round in motion. Desmond would be next. Worth, Harper, and Zimmerman, the base runners, will all take off now. 3-2 and 2 down. Worth looks like the third base coach. Where he's standing.
Yeah, right.
Here's the 3-2, and he struck him out. So Acosta comes in, fans Morris with the bases loaded. But the Nats add 2 and lead it 5-2 as Clippard comes on to try to save it. Proud sponsor of the New York Mets. By Cholula Hot Sauce, the flavorful hot sauce with the iconic wooden cap. By Lexus. And by Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Yuri Perez, who pinch ran, stays in the game in left field for the Nats, and it's still a safe situation for Tyler Clippard.
Boy, it seems like there's a larger lead, but only 3 here for Clippard, who's been outstanding. 30 out of 34. If he's had any trouble, it's been against these Metropolitans.
Well, R.A. Dickey denied a chance for his 19th win, now on the hook for his 5th loss of the year. Fred Lewis will bat for Jason Bay leading off in the 9th inning, and Scott Hairston has come out on deck to bat for Andres Torres. Lewis looking for his first hit as a Met. Facing off against Clippard, who worked a 1-2-3 inning last night in a non-save situation. And Lewis first pitch swinging with his team down 3 runs in the bottom of the ninth.
This is something
Nothing in one.
Something that baseball does now. I don't understand it. Don't get it.
That used to be an automatic take.
Automatic.
Until you get the tying run to the plate.
Trying to hope that the relief pitcher makes some mistakes.
And he takes strike 2. Sometimes the game's just backwards.
See a lot of that lately.
Nats going with their spanking Stars and Stripes W's tonight on the 11th anniversary of 9/11.
On the change up there, hit down the middle.
Phillies added a run. They lead Miami 9-7 in the bottom of the 7th. Back to the old bandbox in Philadelphia. Here's the 0-2, and Lewis takes inside. Reds have won, so the Pirates are now just 3 games over 500, looking for their first winning season in 20 years. It looked like a lock. It's not a lock anymore. Here's the 1-2 to Lewis, and he struck him out. Clippard strikes out Lewis to start the bottom of the ninth. That is 12 strikeouts for Washington pitchers tonight.
It's really a change in the middle of the plate.
Middle end.
Yep.
Good one to hit.
So 1 out now. Scott Hairston bats for Andres Torres, which is curious with a right-hand pitcher in the game. But Torres has struggled so mightily as a left-hand batter. Terry Collins prefers to send Hairston up in this spot. The Pirates, by the way, over their last 31 games are 9-22. So they've gone from 16 games over 500 to 3 games over 500.
And their tipping point was that 19-inning game against the Cardinals,
which they won. But they haven't won much since. Hairston socks one to deep left center field. Back goes Harper near the wall. It's out of here. Scott Hairston with a pinch hit home run. His second home run of the last 2 days. Number 17 for Hairston. That ties his career high. It cuts the Nationals lead to 5-3.
Well, they hit one last night. And what a year he's having for the Mets. Fastball, middle end, belt high, right into his wheelhouse. He never gets cheated. See ya.
So Hairston, who homered last night as a starter, hits one tonight off the bench. His 3rd pinch hit home run.
Well, he knew he got it. And that would not have been a home run in last year's ballpark.
For the Mets, that's their 10th pinch hit home run this season. Now Josh Tolley tries to keep it going. Ball and a strike to Josh. Ronnie Cedeno has come out on deck to pinch hit for the pitcher. Mets have used up all their left-hand pinch hitters.
Clippard can give up some long ball.
Tolley pulls one down to first, and LaRoche handles it. And there are 2 out. So the Mets are down to their final out of the night, on the verge of their 5th straight loss. And now Ronnie Cedeno will be the pinch hitter. Final game of the series tomorrow night. Matt Harvey makes his second to last start. John Lannon will pitch for the Nats. 6:30 the coverage tomorrow night right here on SNY. Cedeno tries to keep it going for New York with Ruben Tejada on deck. Cedeno started at second base last night and went 0 for 2. And Ronnie takes up and away, a ball and a strike. Tyler Clippard trying to nail down his 31st save of the year. Cedeno lines one over short, and the Mets have life. The second pinch hit of the inning, and the tying run will come to bat here in the bottom of the ninth. Ruben Tejada is 3 for 4 tonight. That's now with 8 hits for the night. Trying to battle back with their backs against the wall.
Well, Tejada with 1 home run on the year, lone home run off a right-hander. I'm sure Ruben is just going to try to advance this little 2-out mini rally.
Tejada 0 for 2 against Clippard. Trying to keep it going with Murphy on deck. Cedeno at first with 2 down. And taking all the way, ball 1. Ruben's 4 for 6 in this series. After getting a few days off this week. Now come back out of play, and it's 1-1. Baltimore has beaten Tampa Bay tonight 9-2. J.J. Hardy had 2 home runs. Baltimore started the night a game behind the Yankees, who are 3-3 in the ninth with the Red Sox. One and 1 to Tejada. Ruben takes a high strike, and it's 1-2.
Pulls up.
Mets are down to their final strike. Murphy hoping for a turn. Time asked for. LaRoche telling Clippard he's going to play behind the runner at first.
Of course.
That run means nothing, so Cedeno can run at his leisure. One-two from Clippard, and that's low as Cedeno takes second on defensive indifference. By the way, Bryce Harper with 4 hits tonight. The last teenager with 4 hits in a game, Andrew Jones, 1996. And he didn't think he was supposed to play tonight. 2-2 to Tejada, trying to keep the Mets alive. And Clippard misses high, and now it's 3-2.
Well, if he walks Tejada, he should be put before a firing squad.
What?
It's a little severe.
3-2 to Tejada. And Rubin goes down on the changeup, and the ball game is over. R.A. Dickey suffers his 5th loss of the season. Tyler Moore with a 2-run pinch hit home run to turn the game around. And the Mets have set a franchise record, going 12 straight home games, scoring 3 runs or fewer, as the Nats hand the Mets their 5th straight loss, 5-3.
Well, Davey Johnson and his Nats enjoy playing here at Citi Field. Won 11 of the last 12 and 7 straight.
Well, Davey Johnson pushed the right number, pinch hit. Tyler Moore, 2-run home run. That was in the 7th. That would be the difference in the ball game.
Here's your City game summary. R.A. Dickey, 3 runs over 7 innings, but the one big swing by Moore turned the game around, and the Nats never looked back as they beat the Mets 5-3. Final game of the series tomorrow. Matt Harvey against John Lannon. Our coverage on SNY tomorrow night at 6:30. Now for Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling, Kevin Burkhardt, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. Time for WB Mason postgame live. Eamon McEnany and Bobby Ojeda. Guys.